Welcome everybody. I'm glad to see you out tonight. My computer is not cooperating with me, so my PowerPoint will come later. I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight, Sandra Mcnamara, who was a geophysicist when she graduated from Western York.
It's okay.
I'm trying to do this from memory. It's not working, obviously. She was quite involved with different geomapping projects, and then she's been a stay-at-home mom for 25 years. That part I do remember, because I can empathize with that one. Yes, definitely. And I understand that you are quite the expert on UEL stuff.
Yeah,
So we may have to have her back to talk about UEL. But today she's talking about Facebook, and she's talking about tricks and traits of the genealogy sleuth. So, welcome, Sandra.
Hi, thank you very much for having me here. I don't have notes. My notes are what are on the screen. And so as I'm speaking, if somebody has a question, please feel free to ask at that point, because it just sort of makes sense to me. So the tricks and trades of a genealogy sleuth. So I decided to create this program, PowerPoint. The camera's driving me nuts. So I decided to create this PowerPoint when a neighbor down the street, her father had just recently passed, and they were trying.
Any further questions for Sandra?
Well, thank you very much.
We appreciate you coming out and giving us our two topics in one.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay, how about we take a quick break, about 10 minutes, while I get my PowerPoint up now. There we go. Okay. So is there anyone here who is brand new? And 1, 2, great. This is not to embarrass you. This is in case you have a cousin in the audience. Okay, so we'd like you to stand up and tell us your name and a couple of the key surnames that you are searching. Okay, so we'll start with this gentleman.
My name is Sean Bone.
Sean Bone.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's a French-Canadian name, but I'm actually spending most of my time on my mother's side back in England looking around.
And her
Sussex
last
and
name?
Well, her father's name is Turner, so it might as well be Smith. That's very good.
Turner.
Yes.
In England and Sussex.
That's right. And in Somerset, her mother's maiden name was Butt. B-U-D-D.
B-U-T-T.
D-D.
Down in
Bud.
Simcoe,
Not
Ontario.
but,
Yes.
Bud. Okay.
Yes. So I've come to a bit of an impasse with that one. And,
Where in England was that one?
It ended up, it stopped in 1811 in a place called Mells, Somerset.
Mells, Somerset.
There was a baptismal that showed that the John Flood was brought in by a single woman named Catherine Flood. So I'm taking that to mean that...
Perhaps an illegitimacy.
Right.
You'll need the, what are they called? Where they did the examinations to try and get the name of it. The bastardy bonds, that's it. The examinations that the church wardens did to stick it to the guy to raise the child. Yeah, pay. Yeah, so, but a lot of the English parishes have that. And that'd be kind of a key thing to see if she ever named a father.
Well, I'm hoping maybe if I can go maybe this summer and go to Mells, if there's a church there and somebody takes pity on a foreigner, maybe they'll open the books to
the
me.
English are incredibly welcoming. I've been over twice, and it's incredible what people will do for you. Yeah.
Just check the religion though too, because
Yes.
make sure you're going into the right church.
Methodist and church and everything else, I've noted that too.
Yes.
Hi, my My name's Debbie Tink, and thank you for saying the English are incredibly well.
Debbie Tink, okay.
Yeah. So Tink is my married name, and my maiden name is Northwood, but I'm not searching the Northwood side. I'm concentrating on my husband's side, which is Tink. Tink is local. We live in Salina, which is about 10 minutes drive away from here.
Okay, Tink's from Salina.
Yes.
Very close.
Yes. So you get the Tinks, and then you get the Pascos, you get the Werries, you get the all sorts.
Oh God, Pascos and Werries?
I know.
They're all over the place.
All over the place, exactly. And coincidentally, they all started off in the Cornwall, Devon area where I'm from in England. So
They may have been, what's Cher's favorite religion?
Bible Christian.
Bible
but
Christians.
well, possibly.
Because we got a lot of those in our area,
Yeah.
we're Bible Christian.
Yeah, yeah. And Cher's in Shirley-Toots, right?
Shirley-Toots, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know it too.
Yeah.
So I'm starting off with that. Fortunately, the Tink family has something called a blue book, which every branch of the family has or had. Unfortunately, that was with the older generation, with 80s and 90-year-olds, who are, some of them no longer with us, and now the other generations are not interested in the blue book. Recently, there was a great aunt who passed away, and a cousin of my husband. Somebody in the family said to me, "Oh, you're into genealogy and everything. Maybe you'd like to have a look at this wonderful book. I found it. It's really interesting." And I said, "Oh, is it blue?" "Yeah." "How'd you know?" And I'm like, "Seriously?" You know. So there's not. It's upsetting almost that families, our family maybe, are not so passionate about the history as I am, and obviously I'm just, by marriage into the family. But anyway.
Yeah, you still do it anyway.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's more scope.
and this is my first time here, but I just got a quick plug, and that's not why I'm here, by the way, for the plug. But
I heard a little something,
Oh, okay.
little birdie tweeted in my ear that there's an event gonna happen in
Yeah.
Salina.
yeah, so the Toronto Cornish Association that I've been connected with for a few years actually, are coming out to Salina because Eldad United Church, which I go to, I'm hosting an event there for the Toronto Cornish Association, but for anybody else as well. So it's open to
So an event from the Toronto Cornish Association.
Well, they're going to be there, but it's for another.
Okay.
And it's to do with the Cornish in the area because Eldad United Church was on land donated by the Werries who were from Cornwall. The stained glass windows in the church are beautiful, and they're the families, the descendants, the pioneers that came over in the early 1800s, mid 1800s. We're going to have a presentation. It starts with lunch, pasties. Cornish pasties.
Oh, cool.
So maybe there's an incentive.
So Eldad United Church is going to be the location?
Yes, May
Okay.
the 25th. It's the
May
Saturday.
25th,
Starts
Saturday.
at noon. It goes to about 4 o'clock. So it's
So
a
come
lunch.
for noon for pasties.
Yeah, and then there's a presentation talking about some of these people that came. Then we're going out into the churchyard because those people we talked about from the stained glass windows are also buried in the churchyard. I do dowsing, divining rods, because I'm part of the cemetery board and I find the bodies that we can't find on maps.
You're going to have to teach me because I do the cemeteries for Durham Region.
Oh, okay, good to know. So we're going to do the presentation and the practice, so I'll give my rods to everybody and have some fun. Then we're going to go to the Werry Farm for a little tour in their milking barn. So it's a busy afternoon, but it's free. It's just a free will donation, whatever.
So free will donation, May 25th, Saturday, Eldad United Church, starting at noon with about 4 or 5 events.
Yes.
Very nice.
Can we help advertise? Do you have anything there that we can put on
I
the
don't
web?
yet, but I'll certainly email somebody with the information.
And does Sharon know about this? Shirley too? She ran a Cornish.
Yes, yeah. She's invited. She's not an organizer, but she's invited. She knows about it for sure.
Great.
So, do you have a Facebook group? So if you have a Facebook group, you can post it on that, but you can also do an invite. You can create an event,
Yeah.
and then you do it, and then it's sent out to your members.
There is a Facebook group that is called a place called Salina, and it's based on the book that was written about Salina. But it's going to be out there very soon about the events.
Well, cool. Could you send us some information? Just Durham at ogs.on.ca.
Okay.
okay? And that'll get to us,
Okay.
okay? Bob?
I presume you already know this, but Peter Tink was minister at Sipwa Street United.
And he's my husband's second husband?
Yeah, from Australia.
Yeah, that's
And he's
right.
passed away now, but Jim's still alive.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent.
Awesome. So, speaking of events, yesterday afternoon was my very first class that we did. It's a beginner series. We're doing 6 classes at the Bowmanville branch of the Clarington Library. 1:30 to 2:30. And we had fun. Yeah, Anne came too.
I talked too much, I know.
No, you didn't. You added considerably to the conversation, but everybody shared, which was really nice. And so if you're interested, come on out. They're doing it on a drop-in basis. And it is at a beginner's level. But it could be a good refresher for you too. Bee's not here. Okay. Correspondence, I guess she'll have to tell you next month. Sheila, do you have a treasurer's report for us?
That looks like my TONI. I think I lost that one.
I'll claim the other.
Tens are mine, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one's yours?
I'll take the 5 since he took the 10.
Oh, yeah. There's even a 10 there.
Okay, so for our balance of our current account as of April the 30th was $4,320.08. During April, we deposited $257.08 and withdrawals were $489.67. We still have an outstanding check to come from OGS for membership for $90.
Thank you. Okay, Steve brought some mail with him, so I just received announcements of the British Isles Family History Society of Greater Ottawa. They always put on a September weekend, and I've just been looking at the brochure, and there's some extra copies up here. You can grab those after. They have got some incredible speakers. Blaine Bettinger, who's from the States, but he's the DNA expert. Audrey Collins from the United Kingdom. She's works at the National Archives, and so she's an excellent speaker. Cindy Engel, the creator of Cindy's List, which is incredible. I think she's in Seattle or somewhere in that area. Nancy Lowe, she writes a blog called Sassy Jane Genealogy and lectures quite frequently. Ken McKinley, he gives a lot of talks up in the Ottawa area. And Rick Roberts, we all know Rick, he's from Global Genealogy, so they're going to be there. And you want to actually read the actual topics. Theme is Family History, Past, Present, and Future, which is sufficiently broad to be just about anything. So come on up and grab a brochure. It's not that far to Ottawa, it's only a 4-hour drive.
Nancy, what's the date for the festival?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the end of September. It's 27th to the 29th of September in Ottawa. And I have to also,
Sorry, could, just while you mention that, if anyone is interested in the Revolutionary War, or if they have ancestors that came from the Mohawk Valley, Butler's Rangers, there is Fort Plain Museum is having their conference. It's June 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, so they have a bus trip on the Thursday and the Friday. Lectures on the Saturday with the dinner that night, and then more lectures on the Sunday. It's actually, it'll be the 5th year. It's a fairly small conference, but they make it more than welcoming, and it's amazing how they welcome the loyalists. Like, they acknowledge the loyalist history down there. It's really quite nice.
So where is Fort Plain?
Fort Plain, it's maybe an hour north of Albany. So if you
So
look,
in New York?
yeah, it's in
New York State.
yeah. So right in the Mohawk Valley, it's gorgeous. So if you look up Fort Plain Museum and their conference, and you'll see it click up there.
Okay, what month is it?
It's June 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So
Okay.
it starts on the 6th, so you can drive down on the 5th. And, well, it's a nice drive, too. It's really pretty.
Very good. So before I go on to this slide, I just want to mention that I had a very good Thursday night 2 weeks ago. I found out from OGS, the office, that they had given prizes for the Historica fairs all across Ontario. So Historica fairs, if you don't know, it's roughly middle school, and they do history projects. And they have a great display day, fair day. And they're judged, and there's various prizes that get given out. I haven't heard yet who won the OGS prize, because they're not handing them out till this Thursday night. But I had a really good look around at a lot of the projects, and boy, were they really interesting. I gotta admit, the one that really got me was my grandmother was a bomb girl. I thought that one was cool. There were a lot of, Banting and Best, and there were several Pride ones as well. And just about any topic you can think of. It was very well done. I was quite impressed. Conference 2019 is in London, third weekend in June. They issued in the e-weekly this past Saturday that they've got all these tours going on. So if you make it down to London, you can sign up for one of these tours, and they've done a fairly comprehensive job here. Tell you, if I was going, unfortunately I have a wedding in Ottawa, I'd be going to that Western Art University Archives tour. That's where I'd be. Because I got family down that way, so it'd be interesting to see what they've got. I'm going to call on Stacy now to come and talk to us. She's our TONI coordinator. TONI stands for the Ontario Name Index.
Oh, you spoiled it. I thought I was...
Oh, I'll shut up.
I thought
Talks over
got
now.
more interest if it was a guy. Yeah, but Nancy is responsible for that acronym. I think that's great.
I named this.
Yes,
I was
yes.
president at the time it started.
And I think a lot of you have heard us talk about TONI before, but it might be time for a refresher, and for the people that weren't around to hear about it. The Ontario Name Index, we're trying to get every name in Ontario in there, and there's a lot in there already. Actually, I brought this up. The one who's in charge of the whole project, he let us know that we've been cited in this. Who are these people that love us? Anyway, he's saying that this is operated by the Ontario Genealogical Society. The Ontario Name Index is probably the best free ancestry search tool for people wanting to investigate their Canadian ancestors. So I thought that's something to be proud of. And the index itself contains over 5 million names to search through, drawn from such sources as tombstone photos and family histories. And on top of this, it also includes a cemetery index, as well as church photo collection, a Huguenot collection, and also an insurance papers database.
The Oddfellows insurance.
Yeah. So Susan here was saying, like, she just checked it recently, and it's more keeps coming up. So in order for that to happen, we need people. Things, as you know, you use databases all the time. Those things didn't just jump in there. They have to be entered. You might have noticed that in Family Search. Do you want to help us do? So we're asking if you would like to help us we've moved on from the cemeteries and we need people to help us enter indexes from books now. That's what we're hoping. And we put them into a spreadsheet, Excel. And so anybody who would like to participate, I'm looking for volunteers, and I have some books here. Strangely enough, a lot of books don't have any index, so that's a bit of a drawback. But
Yeah, we thought we'd ease into it
Yeah.
with books that actually have indexes.
I mean, if you want to volunteer to be, search through every page and find it. Anyway, I am doing a book right now, and it's that book has the indexes in separate pages, but we don't have it for these books. But if anyone wants to volunteer for this, I'll get your information. You can take a book home with you and get started, because we would send you the information. The spreadsheet has
Fields?
It has data, how you enter, you enter the data and what they want you to do within abbreviations.
It has, the file has 3 or 4 sheets, so there's some tabs at the bottom with sheet 1. One of them gives you sort of basic instructions. You've got an actual example partially filled out. Then you got the actual citation, what you'd write down about a book, so the author and the title and the publication data and what libraries you found it in and that sort of thing. And then you've got the actual sheet that you basically abstract last name, first name, a location, a date, usually just a year. It's either a year or a decade. If you can find one. Some of these fields would end up blank anyway.
Yeah, and some of the fields, I enter them.
Yeah,
If it's,
well, those ones are hidden, you can't really see them,
But,
but there's a field where you can put in like the page number, sort of a detail field. So if it's a page number, or before it was a cemetery stone number, something like that. So
you don't have an example, do you?
no, because my computer decided to be very bulky tonight.
But
Anyway.
how would it look? Like you pick up a book and you sort of act out what a person would do, and you pick up a book and you have it in front of you?
No, all you need to have in advance is, it's nice if you have Excel at home, or the XLS.
Okay,
That's what they
spreadsheet on
want
your
you to
computer.
have. And then, I don't have an example. I just have the book itself. You're just going to pull a name out.
So here we
I have that
go.
book.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well,
So here's one. A few days before, Brother Paul Robbins and his wife had spoken at a meeting in Luxolian. Okay, so you put down Robbins, Paul. You'd probably put maybe Reverend, but maybe not, because I don't know if a brother is the same as a reverend.
well, then presumably you wouldn't be doing it from there. You're going to the back of the book.
Does this one have an index?
Yeah,
here we go.
I didn't want anybody to have to deal with. If you want to
Okay.
help us out right tonight.
So here we
you've
go.
got
Rice
index.
Thomas, page 174.
And if it didn't have an index, the way you were showing it first,
Yeah.
you'd have
Well, that's
That's kind of our next step.
That's for diehards.
And Mike Moore, who's overseeing the whole, he even gives instructions for how to do that. But I think he's thinking of small books, like, just,
Well, this is interesting here,
And-
because here's one that says Tumman and related families, Andrew, Hoskin, and Martin, and it gives a whole bunch of christening dates.
yeah, and I didn't look in the back.
That
to
could
see
be
if that's-
very interesting.
This one is a little bit, this Bowmanville, it has people's names, and it has stores and towns, and I would want people to just pick out the names. You don't
Yeah.
need to index, But anyway, it's not,
It's not a full index, it's just
But,
an index of names, that's all TONI is. It's a names database, then you have an information page attached. In this case, it will be the book it came from and where you can find that book. And then you have to go actually
get the information out of the book
Yeah.
itself.
At some point, I'd like to, have the indexes photocopy, because I'm working from just a photocopy, and then we wouldn't have to, cart around the books. Anyway, if you
Yeah,
want to.
unfortunately, the indexes don't have the actual dates, and it's kind of nice sometimes to have the dates, because then maybe you're John Smith.
Well, you're gonna have to go by the date of publication of that book, and that's as close as you're gonna get.
Well, it might say the date on page 307.
Yeah, but
It'd be a
Well,
lot of work to go back and forth. At the very minimum, the last name, first name, and page.
Because the tombstones we did have.
The tombstones, we did
Yeah.
try to put the death dates in.
So, I'm available for consultation.
Okay, so our DNA Special Interest Group meets a week Wednesday, week tomorrow, May 15th, 7 p.m., up in the third floor boardroom, which is our library and resource center. In June, we've got Bob Dawes from Quinte Branch coming down. Remember, he got snowed out. February, was it, or March? March. Got snowed out in March. And so he's going to do the Family History Reno project, the easy do-over. So I think that's going to be very interesting. And now we'll go to the 50-50 draw. Hopefully you got yourself a ticket at the break.
The price is $12.50.
Hold on.
The last three numbers should be correct.
256.
Over here.
Oh, there we go. Don Tebble. All those years of being treasurer, Don's finally paid off. So there's our contact information. If you want to take a picture with your cell phone, so you always have us close to your heart, that would be just fine by me. And I'd like to wish everybody to a good and safe drive home. Yes.
Can I say one thing? I heard a couple other people talking about events that are coming up.
Okay.
The Graham family have had get-together, a picnic, since 1922.
So the Graham family picnic since 1922. June
is June the 9th,
9th.
and it's in Green Bay. And the Graham particular family that my husband belongs to came over in the 1840s, landed in Bowmanville, and owned property in Enniskillen for a good many years.
Okay, very good.
And then,
So it's at Green Bank.
but it's at Green Bank, and any Grahams, anybody really would be welcome, but Grahams particularly would be welcome.
If you want to give me that information, I can put it on the blog.
Okay, good.
Okay?
I shall, thank you.
Okay. So thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next month.
Office open.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, Steve and Deb, put your hands in the air. Okay. They are here on the 3rd and 4th Fridays of each month. They have the library open 10 to 1. And Steve's a researcher par excellence, and so is Deb. And if they can't help you, there's very few other people who can. Okay. So certainly make use of our library. And we do open that library 45 minutes before each of our meetings too. So you're welcome to come a little bit early and go up and browse too.
One day we'll have it back together. Properly.
Yes, for those who don't know, we have gone through 2 floods since we moved in. So there's kind of a hole in the wall and a gap in the flooring.
It's a pretty high flood, it hits the third level.
Well, what it was is the downspouts were blocked with ice and then we had rain. So the flat roof turned into a swimming pool that decided to swim down through our room. So, yeah. But with the better weather, they're going to get some people up on the roof to find where the water came in and get it sealed, and hopefully we won't run into this again.
You can get wiring that you can put down the eaves. That will keep it warm. You can do it for a septic so it doesn't freeze in the winters. If you do it for that, it might be something you want to donate to the church. As long as they put it at that side.
This is a flat roof problem.
Yeah, but to keep the downspouts.
Downspouts from being nice. Yeah. I don't know what's being involved in their insurance and their contractors, but I can drop a word in their ear.
Yeah, because if
Yes.
you're donating something for that downspout.
They may not want it.
No, most churches are quite happy to accept money. So thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Yeah, could you hand me up that microphone? The stand is